Now, guess what?
What? What's going on?
We're getting a moon base.
A moon base?
Yeah.
Here?
What's that? Yeah. Well, it's part of the UK's bid to send a probe to drill on the moon to find out more about it.
I want to know what the best thing about all of this is. Well, it's being crowd-funded. Splendid! So let's go to Jonathan Fletcher for more.
You can leave your mark on the moon with this project. Digital data and strands of hair, that is. The idea is you fund this private mission to the moon, and there'll be a part of you sent up there in return. This is Lunar Mission 1, the space venture which gives ordinary citizens the chance to be part of an exciting space exploration scheme. It's not just about you and me, mind you. The project wants to help scientists scout a possible location for a permanent moon base.
Well, we want to know how the moon formed and where the material came from, and we believe it came from the Earth. So we're going to be drilling down to nearly 100 metres below the surface of the moon. Never ever been done before. And in doing that, we'll be pulling up core samples of material that actually were formed 4.5 to 5 billion years ago. So it'll be a scientific first, and it'll be incredible technology that will enable that.
The aim is to reach a target of £600,000 within a month. And Living the Life can tell you that by 12:30 p.m. this afternoon, organisers had raised £77,000. It's all being done through Kickstarter, the fundraising platform that is used by millions of people to raise capital for creative projects and businesses. More than 800 people have signed up within hours. Funders are asked to pledge at least £60 for a digital memory box in which their digital data, that's messages, pictures and videos, will be carried into space and then buried in a capsule on the moon. For a donation of about £200, you can also send a strand of your hair accompanied by a digital record of your DNA structure.
That enables them to have their history and their DNA forever embodied on the moon for the next billion years, and you can't do that on the Earth.
Organisers will need several more orders of magnitude to recoup the total estimated project costs of £700 million.
Well, traditionally, space programs are funded by national institutes, by space agencies like NASA and the European Space Agency, but of course funding for space is very limited these days. And so this is a new way, not of replacing that funding, but by bringing in additional funding to get additional space exploration funded. And of course, it's a way of fully involving the public.
Engineers and scientists have backing from University College London for this, as well as the support of science broadcaster Brian Cox. The mission aims to send its unmanned module to the moon's unexplored South Pole to see if it might be suitable for a permanent moon base. We're still 10 years from landing, but at least we have liftoff on the money part.
Wow, that's amazing. I would invest in this now. I want to put some money down. I want my share of a space probe.
You can do it. It's as easy as that.
It's not called a space probe, is it? It's called something.
It is a probe.
It is a probe.
It is a probe. That's right. But, you know, maybe we can find out a bit more.
Oh, indeed, indeed. And here to tell us more about this exciting new mission, we're joined by Elizabeth Pearson from the Sky and Night magazine. Good evening, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, it seems like we've had a few weeks of a lot of space exploration things going on. There's so much going on out there.
Yeah, it's been a big week for space.
It has, and this one seems to be a little bit more special because we all get involved in this.
Yes, that's going to be the really big thing about Lunar Mission 1, is it's really pushing this idea of getting everybody involved. Last week on the Rosetta landings, you just saw how much people were invested in space. I think they estimated that around 1 billion people were watching some of the coverage for the Rosetta landings. So it is showing that there's people out there, there's interested, they want to get involved in space, and that's what Lunar Mission 1 is really trying to do. It's asking people to get involved, not just by giving their money, but also what happens is if you donate in a certain amount, you can actually give something of yourself.
Send a piece of yourself out there.
I could send a bit of me to space.
Yes, one of the bonuses you get, one of the pledge incentives, I think they're called, is you can send a strand of your hair into space.
Now, you do realise that if my wife finds out about this, she will insist that you send me to space and get rid of me altogether.
You might have to invest a couple of billion to be able to do that. So.
Beyond that, this is going to take 10 years to achieve, right?
Yes.
By then, are we all going to be holidaying in space, hopefully?
Well, if Virgin Galactic have their way, then we'll definitely be able to get to low Earth orbit.
With
Whether
the
that
help
will
of a
actually
lot
happen.
of money.
With the help of a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think current prices are something like $200,000
Yeah.
to go on one of those. But with Lunar Mission 1, it's more about the sort of idea of getting towards being able to go into space.
So how does it work? 'Cause obviously, there's a crowdfunding platform here.
Yes.
So tell us a bit more about this. What does one do? They put their money towards this, and this is funded by the public, or?
Yes. So what they're currently funding at the moment is it's their first stage. When you're building something as big and as complicated as a lunar mission, it takes several stages of funding and
Sure.
development. So the first stage that they're funding at the moment is just the kind of ideas phase. So that's working out what they're going to do. How are they going to build this? How are they actually going to get there, and the kind of logistics of
So
it.
the research part of it.
Yes, so the research part. And then after that, they'll have a better idea, and they can go to bigger companies and ask for funding and sort of say, do you want your experiment to go on our lunar probe? It would be awesome.
Now, the things that we just saw on the screen, that there's about £76,000 had come up. Is that how much has been raised to
That's
date? Or?
by mid-afternoon today.
That was
Yes,
mid-afternoon
when
today.
I last checked, they were already a quarter of the way there
And
in
what
a
was
day.
what's the
And they've
target
got a
again? Remind
month.
us.
£600,000, or about $1 million.
$1 million in a month. Wow. So what kind of activity can we expect when this probe goes out there? What will it do, and what will it deliver?
So the big thing that they were really pushing was that they were going to have a drill on the bottom. And we've managed to drill about 2 meters down into the lunar regolith, which is the top layer of moon rock. And they're really hoping to drill down even further than that, 20 meters, perhaps even as far as 100 meters, if they can. And they've got some plans on how they're going to do that. They need to develop it a bit further. But that's when you start getting down into the really interesting bits of geology. That's when you start being able to work out how the moon formed, how it came together. And the way that the moon formed also has a big impact on how the Earth formed. So if we can work out a bit more about the moon, we can also learn a bit more about how we came to be here.
That would be the reason. So when you dig in there, we'll see the rock, and from there you'll be able to, well, hopefully establish how the moon came into being, right?
Yes. We have various theories. We're
But
pretty
this has
sure.
taken quite a long time. I mean, since man first landed on the moon to today, is this? I mean, hasn't that been a long time to really explore the moon?
This year it was the 45th anniversary of the first moon landings. So man hasn't been back for over 40 years. I think the last probe
Chinese
was,
did a soft landing or
yes,
something, yeah.
That was the first soft landing in 37 years. And it was just a shift in the way that people thought about space and space exploration. It's now modern exploration. Going out to places like Rosetta went to the comet, going out to the planets, that's the big space agencies, that's the government. But closer to home, that is much more becoming private enterprises and smaller groups getting together and projects like this.
Fantastic.
I like that. Let's all go to the moon.
Absolutely.
I think we should
Absolutely.
do
Well, look,
that.
Elizabeth, thank you so much. That's so informative. But look, don't go away, because we've got so many more questions to ask you.
That's right. Time now for a break.